And welcome back to Subculture on CentralCoastRadio.com. Well, we have got a guest on the phone right now who has just brought out a brand new single called Kurt Cobain. And this song is so catchy, I just know it is going to get in your head as soon as you hear it for the first time on our show today. So to welcome the artist behind this great new song, welcome to the program, Sam Hunn.
Hi, how you going?
I am going really well. Sam, this track, Kurt Cobain, is just an absolutely amazing track. I've been listening to it all morning. It's a real earworm. Tell us a little bit about how this track came into being.
I'd had that guitar riff since I was about 14 years old, just sitting around, and it was very Nirvana-esque, too much so for a long time to be used for anything. And then I was just walking around one day, and I kind of thought about this line. Lately I've been feeling like Kurt Cobain, and then I thought, I've got a riff that sounds like something Kurt Cobain would write. And so it just kind of came about that way. Yeah.
Was it annoying having that riff there for so long and not knowing what to do with it?
No, not at all. In fact, it's always good to have a surplus of riffs.
Yep.
There's always something to do on a rainy day.
So, mate, tell us a little bit about how the track ties in to feeling like Kurt Cobain, because, of course, we know that he was a classic musician, but he was also a very, very troubled person. So tell us a little bit about that line and what it means with that line.
So, I guess the idea is, there's probably something that kind of goes hand in hand with having a bit of a predisposition to, mental health problems with being like a musician or creative, I think. I don't know, it's kind of like anecdotally been observed for forever, but it only is considered to be kind of a glamorous concept, or like, like charming as a concept if you're famous, and if you're not famous, it's just a pain in the ass, if you know what I mean. So that's kind of, the song was written when I wasn't feeling particularly well, and I was thinking, like, this is just no fun. And like sometimes in those periods of time, like, I do feel somewhat like creative and have certain ideas, but then, at the end of the day, like, it's better just to feel good about yourself, isn't it? So, like, I guess Kurt Cobain probably, if you asked him, I'm sure he would have given up all his fame just to feel a bit better, within himself. But, it's I guess the song is kind of tongue in cheek, because like the Kurt Cobain, he was troubled by fame, and that was obviously a really hard thing for him. But for lots of musicians out there, they just struggle, with things up top, but there's no fame that goes with it. It's just a bit grim. But anyway, I think music's beautiful in that you can always take what is a really difficult thing in your life or difficult experience and create something out of it. So I'm always happy that I've got music to kind of channel some of the negativity into.
Yeah, with that personal touch to the track as well, did you find that difficult to sit down and write those lyrics, or did it actually flow quite well because it was so personal?
It flowed. It did flow. But I guess I, in some ways, was reluctant about certain elements of the song because it is quite revealing, I guess. But I think that, I think it's kind of important in a way to share those experiences with people, so that, like, they feel they can appreciate that other people are going through things, and that they can kind of, not feel alone in that, which I think is really important, and definitely something that I was benefited from, like with famous musicians. You don't know them, but you feel like they kind of are there for you in this kind of weird way.
Yeah. I find when you write like that, sometimes it's like writing a diary entry that the whole world is going to hear. Is that something that was going through your mind when you were writing it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, Sam, your career has been an interesting one to date. Of course, you were part of a very, very long-running band, and now you've stepped out with a solo career. What kind of sparked that going out on your own, being solo, and how have you found that journey so far?
So we still Verticali's still going, which is great, but sometimes it's hard to get everyone in the one place or to organise a recording session, and sometimes the riffs or the ideas just don't fit with kind of what we've kind of done to date with that band, and if the songs, we're all about trying new things, but sometimes if it doesn't feel like a natural continuation and feels like it's kind of really outside of the musical sensibilities of of Verticali, then I kind of put it forward to the other boys in the band and see what they think of it. I always give them the opportunity to say that they want it to be a Verticali song. But I think my songwriting approach is a bit different with the solo stuff in that it is a little bit lyrically a little bit more candid compared to the Verticali stuff, which is a little bit more, I don't know, lyrically abstract, but it just not necessarily intentionally, but just kind of the way that it kind of ends up being a little bit.
And what are your plans there with your solo career? Are you hoping to release an EP, an album, do some live shows? What are the plans going forward?
So I've been doing acoustic shows, which has been great fun, and it is a real challenge to try and deliver, like a full package deal just with a guitar and a vocal, which is I've really enjoyed that challenge. At the moment I'm just kind of releasing singles, but I'll probably we'll look to bundle them into an EP or an album at some point. But I like it because kind of the way of doing it with just releasing singles, it kind of gives me something to look forward to.
Yep.
And takes that pressure off a bit of having to bundle it up and be like everybody get around this big release just by releasing little things bit by bit. It's kind of, it's good fun.
Awesome. Well, Sam, if people want to follow you on social media, where are the best places for them to go to follow you socially?
Well, we're on all the streaming services, but I just run the Verticali band page, which is Verticali Taz, on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So just access through there is a good way to keep up with what we're doing with the band and what I'm doing with this kind of solo stuff.
Awesome. Well, Sam, we are going to play Kurt Cobain on our show now for the very first time. What would you like to say to all of our listeners out there before they take a listen to this amazing track?
Well, thank you for supporting music and your local radio.